Welcome back, everybody. Thank you to all those subscribers and all those with good wishes. Thank you. This is just something a little bit different. I was asked by a friend of a friend, would I look at some of the Bag & Olufsen kit that a gentleman left her. He passed away. He was a Bag & Olufsen service engineer for many, many years. And I said, yeah, of course I will. I said, it all depends on how much time and money it costs to refurbish these things, if possible. And she said, I don't want to refurbish. She said, I just want to move up the road. I just want to make sure they're safe. So this was one of the first ones, which is the I think it's 4000, BEOgram 4000. And it hasn't got any mains input. What it has got on the back here is what looks like a DC input. So further investigations, see if I can get this off. The way to get into these, there's some tabs over the back here. You need a little screwdriver just to slide in behind the piece of wood and ease this out. It's a right pain to do. Well, it's quite clever actually, but bear with me and I'll just get in there if I can. There's a little tab, you've got to lift the tab and pull. Maybe not. There you go. Just moves a little bit. There's the same this side. There's a little tab. And you pull. This one's been a bit of a swine. I think there's probably a special tool. I'll be back shortly. So I'm just move that tab and this whole wood trim moves forward. Not by a long way, but it just moves forward like that. And that releases these aluminium panels to gain access. So the first one is to come out is this one. There are other videos on the internet about this, and they're revered as a design icon. I don't think they're very good as a turntable. I'll probably get chastised for that. But this is what I found. This guy had, I'm not going to say messed about, but he had modified this substantially. Quite a nice platter, quite thick. I think it's one of the very early ones, but there's no transformer in the top left hand corner here, over here. That's been removed. There's a big problem with these transformers. They were overheating, and I think because the primary was just 220/230 volts, and of course in the UK we're running 240. So many, not just this turntable, but many Bag & Olufsen products actually failed because of this transformer overheating and shorting out and all sorts of other problems. And there's all sorts of added resistors, film resistors here, there's a resistor here. It's sort of, there's some things that not right about it. So I spoke to the B&O forum. They said it's junk, mate. You need, if it's been tampered with, you need to buy another one and retrofit and make it original. That's not what she wanted. The lady that owns, no, she said, we'll get what we can for it. I said, well, I've done what I can. Even this cartridge is wrong. So I don't know what the individual that serviced this or didn't service it, don't know what he was doing really. He might have been known what he was doing, but it doesn't seem to ring true. All sorts of other things that are not right about it. But that, just out of a bit of interest, finding there's some transport screws here. I think you've got to screw them down, screw them up, can't remember which. Screw them down. Yeah, that screws down. That's, you can see all this chassis going down. But as a piece of engineering, this thing is astonishing. When you actually look at the aluminium castings, it's very, very good indeed. Very substantial. It weighs a ton. All this is machined aluminium, billet aluminium. All the PCBs are cut to suit. All these solenoids, because it's a transverse tracking. It's quite a thing really. Anyway, just out of a bit of interest, that's the inside, and that's where to take it apart. As I said, I've just wound down the actual mechanism, the transport, and that holds it down so it doesn't. This won't wobble all over the place. In actual fact, I think that bearing is very wobbly. I don't think that's right, but by the by, it's not mine. Just out of interest. So to put this back together, you drop that in there. There's a little peg there, and there's a little hole here. I don't know if you can see that, just there. And the peg fits in the hole, and that locates spot on where it needs to go. Yeah, spot on, just there. So everything now lines up. This then is another fork here, and there's a peg there. There's a peg there and a peg there, if you like. And there's a slotted keyhole. So you put that in there, being gently, not to. That's it. So then everything lines up, sort of. You get everything to line up, if you can, and then you gently push this back. Push this front back. Maybe not. And there you go. You got to get everything lined up. Thus. There you go. Bit of jiggery pokery. Just like that. Sorry, making you seasick. That just drops on there. You're supposed to transport it without this being in situ, but she just turned up in the back of a Range Rover. There you go. Beautiful bit of design, not disputing that. I don't think sonically it's very good. I don't know, I've never heard one. I've just read reviews on it, but they're revered around the world. So that's just a piece of interest, something different.